Good morning, everyone. Welcome along, buenos dias, and welcome to RallyRACC Catalunya. It is the penultimate round of the WRC. Can you quite believe it? We are almost at the end of the season. Right in front of you on our screens right now are freshly crowned world champions, Kalle Rovanperä and Jone Halttunen, getting ready to head in to the first run of Shakedown this morning. I'm Bex Williams, ready to talk you through it, and alongside me, the very capable co-driver, Seb Marshall. Good morning, Seb.
Good morning, Bex.
Ready to go?
Ready to go, yes. Looks like some damp conditions to greet the crews on this familiar stage of Col de Texeta as the Shakedown stage. Interesting, we've already seen the tyre choices this morning. Not that it's super critical for Shakedown, but perhaps going to have a slight delay here with the safety car appearing to still be in position. But Kalle and Jone there, super chilled.
Oh, as ever. I mean, they are incredibly chilled. It was just a few weeks ago then at Rally New Zealand where they sealed the world title. Kalle, of course, becoming the youngest ever WRC champion. And they're the first Finnish champions for 20 years. It's been a long wait, Finland, but you've finally done it again.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? It feels like it was only yesterday that Marcus, in some ways, was lifting that
Absolutely.
trophy. We've had a lot gone on in the intervening years, the French dominance, but Finland reclaiming the
two Frenchmen and an Estonian in between times, of course. That's the road order of Shakedown then. In front of you, we'll be looking at our P1 drivers and a couple of our Rally 2 WRC2 category cars heading through as well. So weather conditions here in the past week, it's been bright and sunny, as you would guess from Spain at this time of year. It's the last time to eke out a bit of summer sunshine, but the past day or so, it's been quite cloudy, very heavy, muggy conditions weather-wise. So we were kind of expecting it to rain. It needed a break in the weather, and it's come this morning. I don't think there's a huge amount of rain forecast today, but enough to make the road damp. And as Seb mentioned, we have a variation of tyre choice. A majority of the crews going with a hard compound tyre this morning. Some crews have gone with a soft Pirelli, though.
Yeah, I think it looks like most of the Toyotas have elected to go with that soft tyre. Some of the crews did take 6 tyres, so they may well potentially put a cross on if they're seeing the conditions a little bit damp. But it's interesting, it's only obviously a very short stage, this Shakedown stage. It uses the old roads. It is quite an abrasive surface. That said, this is, of course, for the those eagle-eyed viewers will note that this is the power stage from 2011, I think, when Chris Meek won his first ever stage in the WRC, and that particular power stage was noted for its horrendous weather, and Chris went out on the right tyres and dominated, really. So clearly, the weather can have an influence even with such an abrasive surface.
Certainly.
But okay. I think, as with most shakedowns, if they're not on the optimum setup tyre choice, it won't be too much of a stress. We're not too far away from the service park, so they can come back and adjust settings.
That's a good point. We're not too far away from the service park. While we wait for everything to get underway, we're actually going to cross out to the service park right now. So let's head there. We'll come back when the action starts on Shakedown.
Thank you so much to Bex Williams and Seb Marshall. Yes, you are joining us for the first time in the service park here in Spain. Who else would be alongside me other than Julian Porter? Well, Julian, we may look a bit summery, but it's actually turned a little colder and the rain's coming down right now.
To be fair, I'm not cold. I'm slightly concerned about the big black cloud, but I've got my waterproof just out of shot, so I'm okay with that. But no, it's been very muggy recently. It's been some lovely days. I've been out walking in the sun. It's been hot and sticky. We did need a bit of a break, but it's not really rained, if I'm honest. It's been the odd spot. But I have, looking at weather forecasts, there is a lot of rain due at some point. Whether it comes or not, I don't know.
Well, as Julian was saying, it's quite muggy, which means it might break at some point. There's a lot of moistures that are coming down, so it's going to make it very, very interesting. Well, you've already heard from Seb about that tyre choice. Now, we are waiting for Shakedown to get going. As you probably know by now, if you're joining us for the first time, well, welcome along. We've got a lot in store for you. But as you probably know, Kalle Rothenpera is now our world champion for 2022. He was crowned in New Zealand, but let's just give you an idea of where everybody else is at the moment. So Wout Tanak's in second, Thierry Neuville in third, Elvin Evans in fourth, Taka in fifth, Craig sixth, Esa-Pekka Lappi in seventh. We won't be seeing him for the rest of the season. It's Seb Ogier that takes the hot seat for the next 2 rounds. Danny Sordo is there in ninth and Gus Greensmith in 10th. Well, I think this rally, Julian, is going to be about Danny Sordo, but let's see. Let's get those manufacturers' points on the screen, because this is all still to play for. It is now between Toyota and Hyundai. Now, all Toyota have to do this weekend is get 1 car on the podium and 1 car within that 6th place or up. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can do that. The manufacturers' points on your screen, so you can just see exactly where they are. The rain's coming down a little heavier now. 455 points, 374 for Hyundai. That's the gap. I think it's an 81-point gap there. So that's the deficit that Hyundai need to make up this weekend, but it looks like it's Toyota's to lose. Sport is in third and Toyota Gazoo Racing is in fourth. That is the Taka team that you can see just there. Okay, well, Shakedown's going to start in just a minute. We are waiting for that action. It is on the way. But what's happening this weekend, Julian? 19 stages. Going to be some fierce stages.
Yeah, just going back to what you said about it's a weekend for Danny Sordo. We actually sat down with him on Tuesday night at his hotel, and he said he's left nothing on the table for this weekend.
Okay.
He wants it. And I was just waiting around refuel tyre zone area as they left, and he jumped out of his car and he goes to me, "Is it going to rain?" I said,
"Yes,
I don't
Danny,
really know,
it's going to
Danny."
rain.
And I said, "But you're from Spain, so you should know." He goes, "I put hard tyres on, and now it might rain." I said, "It's only Shakedown. Don't worry about it." But it could be tricky if it does rain. It really could. But I did see the Toyotas last night with their lamp pods on. Super.
Yes, you're really excited. So Julian gets very excited about many things, but dark stages in particular sent him wild.
Well, you see, they were out testing their lights last night because the first stage on Sunday morning is in the dark. So, but I've not had this love affair with this new generation of car as I did with the last one. But when I saw the Toyota last night in tarmac spec with the lamp pod on, I kind of like, okay, this is starting to look quite nice.
Back in love.
Well, no. Nothing for me will ever beat the last generation of those cars here last year in tarmac.
Okay.
They were like the ultimate beasts.
Okay.
But
well,
these are now just in certain moments when you see them, particularly when Toyota were testing, because they tested without the side scoops. Oh, they looked even cooler without the side scoops.
Well, these cars are now more in racing spec, ride height lowered, ready to take on the tarmac. But what is the challenge ahead? As we said, 19 stages. So what's in store for the weekend? We're 1 hour ahead of the UK, but for the rest of Europe, the time zone is a little easier than it was in New Zealand for you. So Friday is where the action starts. We've got an opening ceremony tonight at 7 o'clock, but Friday is where the action starts. It is stages 1 to 8, so a full day, 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, exact repeated loop, 8:15 to 8:30. It's a big old day. 8:30 to 7:45, stages 9 to 15. Sunday, 6:45 to 1:45, stages 16 to 19. So that is how you'll see our 19 stages will unfold over the next 4 days. Now, the reason that the Shakedown stage is a little bit delayed at the moment is because, which we know, because of the number of fans that are trying to get there. Now, I talked to Seb Marshall last night and I said, before COVID hit, Rally Spain was my last, because I also had a baby in that time. Rally Spain was the last time I saw so many fans. Now, the fans here are absolutely crazy. And I remember 2019, we couldn't even make it through the service park. We literally couldn't move. We were trying to film around. So that's what's happened up on that Shakedown stage. The fans are just getting into safe positions. They've sort of all rushed out on a Thursday morning. Here are some fans down here already, a bit more subdued than...
Well, I think we've got the roundabout, the famous roundabout in this stage. It is, as Seb Marshall just said, it's the shorter version of the power stage, you know. So it is a nice thing. But this start of the Shakedown stage for me is the most beautiful piece of road that I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's absolutely fantastic.
All right, well, Kalle Rothenpera, now our 2022 world champion, and as if by magic, good morning, Jari. It's nice to see you in your shorts.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, well, we've obviously got our 2022 champion already, but we've got a very important manufacturer's title to play out in front of us this weekend.
Yeah, indeed. It's very important for Toyota to get the manufacturer championship title. So for sure, it's the driver's title is important, but also manufacturer championship title is really important. So of course we want to secure it here. It would make life easier to go to Japan, because then we are under quite pressure if we don't have it when going out to Japan. But so it doesn't need much, but we haven't done any special orders for this one. We just go quite as in any other event.
Okay, well, it's the ever-changing life of a team manager. You've now got 2 world champions within this team this weekend. That's something that is quite exciting for a team boss.
Yes, and it's quite special to have 2 champions. It's not very often you can have these days, you know, two champions in the same team, and it's very nice to see how they are battling, and I think all our drivers, they're very hungry for the victory. I know Elvin hasn't been winning for some time now, so he's very hungry. Also Sepp is hungry. Kalle doesn't have any pressure anymore, so they all want to win for sure.
Okay, well, as you're with us now, we've got Kalle Rovanperä. He's going to start heading through Shakedown. Now, as a special favour, we're going to ask that you and Julian take it away and just commentate through this Shakedown stage, just so you can give us, because you've obviously been here plenty of time, what it's like out here in Spain and just what we can expect from the weekend.
Well, I've just been saying, Jari, this first 4Ks or whatever to the roundabout is probably my favourite piece of road in the whole World Rally Championship. What is it like? I've only driven in a road car. What is it like in a rally car?
Actually, I did also enjoy a lot this part. This is actually one of my favorites. It's like a race circuit. You can't cut anywhere. It's a wide piece of road. It has long corners, a little bit tightening, then some short corners. But it's so important, like this right-hander, which is very long, tightens a little bit. And then you have the exit. You have to use all the space. Using all the space, you can make good time, but you have to think about the lines, and that is fascinating for me. It's like your lines will make big effect on this stage, on this road.
I love it. I love it. As you say, you're crisscrossing across the white line. But a little bit of rain on the windscreen. I mean, I haven't actually checked the tyre choices yet, but how slippy is it out here in Spain when it starts to rain?
This piece of roads in Shakedown is quite, I would say the tunnel is pretty abrasive, so it doesn't, the small amount of drizzling, it doesn't affect. Also, I would say generally the roads can take a little bit of moisture. The grip is quite high here in places, so and then it's you don't have like blacktop at all over here, so the tarmac is the nicest what you can have in a World Rally Championship.
A bizarre question, bearing in mind there's so much going on in the rally car. You know from the start, 4Ks later, you're going to come to one of the most famous roundabouts. And when do you start to think about, I don't want to mess that up because there's tens of thousands of people watching me?
When you come to there's like a little crest, and you know your braking point is still for that little crest, and then you have about maybe 50 meters to the roundabout. So it's that crest which is always in your mind, and that's where you have to brake.
Generally though, I know you're not allowed to drive the stages anymore before a rally, which is one of your biggest frustrations this year. But as a rally, I know you have a bigger love affair with this rally. It is great.
This event is something which I can admit that I would have really wanted to win this, and I was a couple of times very close. 2012, 2014. And even 2018, we had a fight with Sebastian Loeb and Osier, but I just couldn't make it. I wanted to win this tarmac event, but it was something which I couldn't get on my list.
So here we are. Are you thinking? Can you see all of those people around, or are you just concentrating on the handbrake, the throttle, the clutch?
When you come into the approach, then you see the people, but then your focus goes to the roundabout, because you have to make sure that you make it correct. So then your focus goes away from the people. But at the first initial moment when you come on this piece of straight, then you see the people, and you can see the flags and things that you know there is a great atmosphere.
Jari, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. From one expert commentator to 2 more, hand back to commentary.
Thanks very much, Kiri, and thank you very much to Jari-Matti Latvala. Always good to hear from him. Kalle Rovanperä has completed the shakedown test, and we'll hear from him shortly. But let's switch now then to Ott Tänak and Martin Järveoja, who are chasing down what would be a first victory for them here in Spain. They've been here 8 times previously, Seb. Got good experience here.
They have, and they've got great memories from here as well. The scene, of course, of their championship winning moment in 2019.
Absolutely.
Yes, maybe not that final victory, but I do recall in 2018 absolutely dominating the rally in very challenging wet conditions until Poacher put paid to his chances that year. But yeah, I mean, Oit's always been incredibly strong on tarmac. I expect nothing less this weekend.
No, absolutely not. Now, we talked about tyres just at the start of Shakedown while we were waiting for it to get underway. You can see the rain is falling. We do have a mixture of the hard and soft compound Pirelli tyre out there. Tanak's gone with 5 hards this morning, so that'll be a little bit difficult in these conditions. First of all, tyre to get up to temperature, but it's not a huge amount of rain that's falling right now, Seb, is it? It's just a little bit. How much will that affect things?
Yeah, the road is certainly damp. I mean, I can't tell exactly, but it's not a massive amount of rain. But like you said, it's only a short stage, and the nature of the road here being so twisty and technical, the tyre does warm up quicker, but you've been sat at the start for an extra 10, 12 minutes with the delay, so that certainly has an effect.
Kalle, good morning and congratulations on winning the title in New Zealand. How does it feel starting this rally as a fresh world champion?
Thank you. It feels, of course, quite good. It's going to be a bit more relaxed weekend for us, but of course we try to do the maximum like always and help the team on the team championship. And
yeah, talking about the Manufacturers' Championship there, that's Kalle Rovanperä. We've just seen Tanak complete quite a good bit slower.
Yeah, 13.5 seconds behind Calle's time, so as we expected, yeah, those hard tyres, not as Jari Matti Latvala was telling us just before how this stage, you've got to concentrate so hard on the lines. You could see how patient Oit was having to be, and I'm sure it'll be the same for Thierry here, waiting to just coax the car into the apex. Gentle application of the throttle on the exit. Here from
Let's head down then to Oit.
Oit, good morning. I'm sure this is a rally that you would like to win. What's the feeling with the car on these tarmac roads?
We will find out. At the moment, hard tire and full wet, so yeah, difficult to get any idea, but let's see next days.
We will see on the next stage, I guess, or the next run for him.
Yes.
Rather than the next stage, because it is just one today. It is just Shakedown the guys are doing. It is the ceremonial start tonight before we get into the action tomorrow. What's interesting about tomorrow is we've got some new stages for the drivers to tackle, and from what I was getting feedback-wise last night, it's quite a bit of cutting on these stages. They're fast,
yes,
but there's a lot of room for quite a bit of mud and dirt to come out onto the road, and if it's raining, doubly so.
Absolutely, yeah, quite a bit of variety. Some real fast sections, some technical stages that they've used many years, over 10, 12 years ago, but now in the reverse direction. So there's a lot of new sort of elements to the Friday here in Catalunya, and I think that's great. You know, there's the iconic areas like the roundabout here, like the El Montbel stage on Saturday, but I think it's good to mix it up. It provides that extra challenge, and yeah, I mean, okay, it's the weather could play a part as it has done on Shakedown this morning, but Neville slotting in there, still 9.2 down on Rovanperä. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the Hyundai's return to service to put some soft tyres back on to get a representative feeling of what they can expect for this event.
Absolutely. Elvin Evans and Scott Martin off the line now. Just to confirm, Newville's time was a 2:54.4.
Caution, don't, and 3 left, 50. Very long left entry.
Let's hear from Thierry with Molly Pettit, who's at the stop control for us.
Thierry, good morning. You've had a lot of success here in recent years. You know, how is it being back here in Spain, and what do you think your chances are this weekend?
it's a good question. I mean, we have always been fast over here, but unfortunately we're not the only ones, so it's going to be a tough fight. The target is to get a good feeling with the car. I mean, conditions were already tricky this morning, and they're going to be much more tricky during the weekend as well, so yeah. Let's see, but if the feeling with the car is good, it's going to be fun.
Last year's winner, of course, he's been on the top step of the podium twice here, but what he's talking about there I think is really interesting. It's going to be even trickier during the weekend. There's such a mix of information coming through with what's happening with the weather. It's not going to be your atypical sunny Spain rally. We've got a lot of cloud cover forecast. There are bits and pieces of rain, but it's when that rain hits How difficult is that to predict?
Who can you trust? You know, you've got, like you say, so many different sources. The teams have all got incredibly effective meteo services provided by third parties and guys in-house. They've also got numerous weather crews out on the stage as entertains the fans with a big pull on the handbrake there.
Enthusiastically donating there. Nice one.
Effective, fastest through by 0.6. And then, of course, yeah, they've also, on tarmac rallies, got the safety route crews who drive through the stages about an hour and a half in advance of competitors to give a bit more information to add into the mix. So, yeah, lots of things to consider for tyre choice and how to approach each stage.
Fifth start in Spain for Takamoto Katsuta. Let's head out and hear from Elvin.
Elvin, good morning. Second here last year. I'm sure you'd like to see yourself on that top step this weekend. What's it going to take?
Yeah, it's always the plan. It's looking like a tricky start to the rally so far. So, you know, we have to try and keep our noses clean but fast on Friday. And then I guess after it's a bit more well-known, but of course it's still not easy.
Tell us what it was like in here.
Pretty slip, to be honest. Difficult to get the confidence early on, but okay.
Had a really good chat with Taka last night. Oh, great clip there. We're talking about confidence levels ahead of this weekend, especially coming off the back of Rally New Zealand. He said, you know, tarmac is where he feels pretty confident anyway, but it's, you know, areas specifically on tarmac where he's not confident is when the tarmac is getting dirty. You know, when it is dirty, when it is messy out there, which we've just mentioned, there is a big possibility for tomorrow with the cutting. That's where he's really struggling, and that's what he's working hard on now to try and get over.
Yeah, I think it is something that when the grip's consistent, it is much easier to get into that flow, into that rhythm. But when there's these variables, each corner a little bit different, that really does take a lot of extra confidence to kind of trust that the car's going to do what you want, and you're not going to be surprised by a bit of extra moisture on the road or gravel or mud to pull down. But no, I think obviously last year, unfortunately, had that incident on the very first stage, which put him out for Friday. So he was always playing catch up a little bit, and I'm sure that won't play on his mind. With a really strong time there in their first run of Shakedown, but yeah, he'll want to settle into a good rhythm.
And it's the build-up, you know, for Rally Japan, the final round for us, which is also on tarmac. This is a good warm-up session for him, although the roads are going to be very different to what we see here in Spain. Big challenge for the drivers on the final round. Craig Breen now then, and Paul Nagel. Paul Nagel on his final WRC event.
On the board, I guess you got soft tyres on the car for Shakedown. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's pretty slippy. We have been this stage many times on the dry conditions, so it's a bit different feeling, but how we can go. So let's see how it's going better tomorrow, but at least everything working well.
Yeah, a big weekend for this crew, Craig Breen and Paul Nagel. It's the last time they'll be competing together. Paul has decided to pack away the pencils and the notebooks and call it a day on his co-driving career at this level. They've sat together for a total of 58 events. 25 of them have been in WRC, so that's a long time sat next to each other. It's a lot of weeks away, Seb Marshall, as you well know.
It is, and that spans almost exactly 10 years since the partnership was formed, and in difficult circumstances for Craig. And you know, I think Paul's been that guy who likes that kind of voice of reason, the experienced hand in the car, and really brought Craig on a lot. And I think, you know, Craig contributes Paul for a huge amount of his success. And yeah, you can see that the relationship there is very strong. And yeah, it will be an emotional moment, I'm sure, towards the end of this weekend as it comes to the climax of that the rally.
Yeah, that's a job to do in hand first before those emotions can creep in, though. But for Paul, his WRC career started back in 2004 at this event, and now in 2022 that will come to a close.
Craig, as like the Hyundai, is running the hard compound tyres, so it explains his time loss for the Toyotas here. Shake of the head. I imagine he'll be possibly regretting that tyre choice, but let's find out from when he speaks to Molly.
Sebastian Ogier now and Benjamin Velas. Good to see Seb back here. He knows what winning ways are like in Spain. He's done it 3 times in his career.
Obviously, try not to think about it, but everyone keeps reminding me about it, and reminding him more about it. Yeah, look, let's try our best. You know what I mean? It's going to be a great weekend regardless. It's a nice rally in front of us, so let's see what we can do.
That's the general vibe from all the drivers here. You know, it's a lovely rally. They enjoy these roads, and you'll get a real sense of it when you watch the coverage this weekend. It's like it's rallying on a race circuit with these beautiful ribbons of tarmac just flowing through the mountainside. You know, it's beautiful. It really is. But you do have a nice mixture of long corners, short corners, keeps things interesting.
Yeah, it's a very sinuous road. You know, it flows beautifully. You can get into such a fantastic rhythm. I mean, this stage in particular, and when it's extended on Sunday for the power stage, is one of the most. It is intense because it all just comes so quickly, but it's intense in a nice way. It feels natural, like a river flows down in this sort of same curves. Some of the stages that we see on Saturday a bit more sort of punctuated by the straights and longer sections of flat-out driving, but yeah, just watching this time from OGA is going to be quite something through the finish. 2.2 faster. Really, Seb's found his tarmac form again quickly.
Very quickly. We'll hear from him very shortly. But before that, let's switch out to Dani Sordo and Candido Carrera. This is his 19th appearance at his home event. It's quite staggering, isn't it?
Seb, good morning. It's nice to see you. You've been here plenty of times before. You've got many wins on the board. What do you think it's going to take to be on the top step this weekend?
Always being committed, having the confidence with the car, and go for it. I think it won't be easy for us tomorrow. All the new stages have a lot of cuts, so it might become a bit tricky for us after a few parts, but we have nothing to lose, you know, this weekend, so we have to try.
Dani Sordo's got quite the record. As I mentioned, he's been here. This is the 19th time now. He's been on the podium 9 times. And in all the events he's recently competed on, he's been on the podium each time. So he's had 5 podiums out of 5 events that we've seen him on in recent years. Obviously not doing a full season, he's just popping in, Seb, pops in, pops on the podium.
It's quite the record, isn't it? I mean, Mr. Consistency, he was always strong right from the start of his career in terms of he'd always be there getting the points, but it's quite remarkable, really. I mean, that across spanning 2 years, obviously 5 different events to have achieved a podium finish on all is, I think, in fairness, Dani does acknowledge that he's maybe not always been there purely on the pace, that he has played that role of exactly as high end I've asked him to play the team game, be there, make sure that you're in position. But a lot of that, you can't argue with his pace, particularly on those gravel events in the middle of this middle season. Portugal's and Sardinia's, he loves those events. He knows how to get the most out of the car in those kind of conditions, where it is very much an endurance rally. But as we said, 9 times on the podium here, that victory is still evaded him in all those times.
But yes, I mean, there was team orders got called into play with Citroën many years ago, and he had to relinquish the top spot to load. I remember that well because it was a very difficult press conference to host after it, let me tell you. But yes, I mean, he's won in the Junior Championship here, but he wants the ultimate win. Could Dani Sordo get that this weekend? As we watch Gus off the line. Let's hear it from Dani.
Good morning, Dani. It's raining quite a lot, hard tyres on the car. How did you find that?
Well, like stupid in the stage, with hard tires, but we didn't want to use back touch of soft tires, but I think the decision was wrong because we don't have any grip, so we just drive in the stage. It's not nice to start like this. I make some mistakes, but it's impossible to drive like this, so we need to be a little bit more focused next time in the tires.
There we go. It's quite difficult to watch, isn't it, Seb? It's like he's gliding, Gus, here at points.
Definitely see that he's finding the limits of the grip, having to use the handbrake on one of those tighter corners just to get the car rotated, probably suffering a bit of understeer on entry. And yeah, this camera angle does feel like you're really almost in Gus's eye line. Kind of, that's what he'll be seeing. And just a little bit of understeer on the exit. I mean, it's no surprise he's on the hard compound tyres. It's 2 minutes in. They'll be warming up a little bit by now, but we even saw, I noticed that the start line of this stage is quite unique in that it's actually on a corner, and with the hybrid boost this year off the line, it was a great power slide away from the line for Gus. You know, clearly cold tyres, over 500 brake horsepower, and it was quite an impressive launch away from the line as he makes his way to the roundabout. You can hear he's going to be very, very careful and patient with that throttle. Over-rotate the car when it's on the handbrake. So 18 seconds down on Ogier's benchmark.
Yeah, and it was just Ogier, Katsuta, Evans and Rovanperä who went with 4 hard compound tyres. Sorry, soft. Soft compound. The right choice in these conditions. The rest, as we can plainly see, have gone with hard. Let's catch up with Mr. Greensmith.
Morning, Gus. Back on tarmac. Only one previous start here in a WRC car. How are you feeling about the weekend?
Yeah, should be good, should be good. See what the weather does again for about the 50th time this year. Seems to rain a lot this year, so yeah, all okay.
That has been noted, Gus, I have to say, mainly by you guys, obviously, with your tyre choice, but with us and our... What do we wear to go and interview the drivers? Are we putting a T-shirt on, or is it full wets? It has been a lot of rain this year. Pierre-Louis Loubet, good to see him back behind the wheel. It's the first time for him in a Rally 1 car here in Spain. It's been in WRC2 previously.
Interesting as well, of course, we saw Pierre-Louis have such fantastic results. Last time he was competing in the Acropolis Rally, equalled his best finish, if I recall correctly. But onto tarmac, and it'll be a while since he's driven on tarmac as well. You can see he's hesitant, but hasn't quite settled in yet. Already Ogier's time passes and we're not inside of the roundabout, so it's going to be a slow time, but I think it's important just to make sure he gets through, understands what he needs from the car in terms of the setup. Clearly the tyre choice, but it's one of my engineers might be nothing in the barriers.
This is a very good statement.
Other than not to go off on that corner. But yeah, Pierre-Louis will be a chance to make some changes, and I'm sure he'll be much closer to the front end.
As ever, the poll is running on WRC.com as to who you think will win this year's edition of RallyRACC, and right now it is Neuville who is winning that vote with 20% of the vote. Tanak on 16.3.
Interesting, obviously, lovely going with the Pierre-Louis.
Pierre-Louis, first time here in Spain in a WRC car. What was Shakedown like for you?
It was raining, and with the hard tire, it started to rain when I was at the start, so it was a very difficult run for me. So, yeah, but I'm sure we will enjoy today on dry tarmac. So let's see.
Yeah, it does appear to say it's perhaps raining heavier now, so maybe that's explaining the bigger time loss for the recent Ford runners through the stage.
Jordan Sodoides, he's been here twice before, 2014 and 17. Craig McLott, as ever, calling the notes alongside Jordan.
Still in calm Fred mode at the moment, I would say.
Calm Fred, yeah. I mean, it's one of the nice factors during the weekend is to listen to Fred's tone as the weekend goes on.
Yes. As the excitement ratchets up in the car with Jordan, Fred's always doing a fantastic job of
encouraging and guiding,
exactly.
I would say.
It is, yes, there's many different styles of co-driving, and yeah, certain drivers need different things, and yeah, Jordan really responds well to that kind of coaching through the stages and giving that kind of confidence.
Talk to me about the co-driving perspective from this event. In comparison to other tarmac events, what challenge does it offer here for the co-driver?
So, of course, being that it's tarmac, we get the information from the safety crews, so that's always an extra job and stress to kind of liaise with them and put the information into the notes. And yeah, with as I mentioned before, because the stages aren't quite flowing here, quite smooth, there's actually, you do notice not quite a bit of the G-forces in terms of laterally on your neck towards the end of the weekend. That a lot of times you'll feel the strain in the muscles. A place like Rally Germany in the past, you'd really notice the G-forces with heavy brakings, lots of sharp accelerations and stops, but here it's more the lateral load on the long corners.
Good morning, Jordan. How does it feel to be here in Spain in the rain?
Yeah, very difficult. Very difficult. With a lot of slides on the rear. Of course, we are on hard. So.
Yeah, on the hard tyre, like the majority of the field seem to be. We welcome Adrian Formeau back into the WRC field.
You camera angle there, we can get a really good view of the Puma's steering wheel and clearly what gear he's currently driving in. A very tentative third gear for this section of stage.
Everything is tentative here.
Yeah.
You know, the motion into the steering. I mean, there's minimal steering there, or is there an issue?
Yeah, he's already 2 minutes 35 in, so something's not quite right.
Something's not right.
It looks like there's an icon flashing. I think it could have a puncture potentially. They have the tyre pressure monitoring system, and it looked like there was one of the potentially a tyre alarm for the left rear. Let's see if my eyesight was good enough. But
Yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Get an outside shot of the car.
Looks all right. Okay, something else is flashing on the dash. Oh, he's entertaining the fans.
Yeah, he's going around for a second time.
Very good. Well, thank you, Adrian. 41 seconds down. But
Maybe he's just being tentative because he's on a hard tyre.
Could be that.
Let's find out. We can speculate until the cows come home, but it isn't going to give us an answer. We'll hear it from the horse's mouth. There's a lot of animal references in that little monologue there. I didn't mean to do that, but there we go. WRC2 now then, and Johan Rossel. Can you believe it's his first time in Spain?
Adrian, good morning. It's good to see you back after a little break, and you must be feeling good, giving the fans a bit of extra up there.
Yeah, because we definitely don't have the right setup for the car and also the tires. So I say, well, instead of a bad stage, I prefer to give some fun to the spectators because, yeah, there is nothing you can do. We decided to take these tires for the rally, so yeah, with nothing we can do, so just enjoying.
Well, there we go then. But can't argue with that.
No, absolutely not. And as you said, fans will appreciate that at the roundabout, so they will be happy.
I remember one year, I think it was 2015, it was actually the very final corner of the stage. We climbed up the hill, so that this year's Paris in reverse, and many of us were doing laps around about, hands out the window waving. Can't go too, and then just had to pull the hand back in to stop the watch just as we went through the red boards.
Wow, that's very rock and roll, Mark.
It was, we were feeling in the moment, appreciating the crowd being out there to watch us, so we thought we'd give them a little wave.
Let's see what Marcel does around this roundabout, just the once, I'm sure, as he heads through. So we've had all the P1 drivers through. We're into WRC2 territory now. And again, another interesting battle I'm sure we'll see within this category during the weekend. As we switch now to Teemu Suunanen. Winner of this event in the WRC2 category back in 2017 for Suunanen. And he's got a good amount of experience here.
Good morning. Your first time here. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's not easy start, honestly. I think for the tire choice, it's better to start with hard tire. I wait a little bit. I hope dry, but I think it's dead for today. We will see tomorrow, but yeah, so happy to be here. It's just next to my home, and yeah, we will see. I think on this road the car is very strong. Yeah, we will see.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when I was looking and saw that Johan hadn't actually competed here in Spain before. I'm sure he'll do well out there, though. You know, he's got huge experience on tarmac, and he's done great things on gravel. He's our WRC3 champion from last season, of course, reigning WRC3 champion.
Yeah, he's certainly a fast driver in all circumstances, all surfaces. Perhaps he comes here, not that his championship's over, but it's certainly had a big dent put in it by that final stage accident in the Acropolis rally a few weeks back. So
that feels like an age ago now, but yeah.
It was, but yeah, that would, of course, I'm sure he will put that behind him, but changes his approach, I'm sure, a little bit for this weekend.
I'm keen to know what Teemu Suninen's approach is going to be. He knows what to do to get onto the top step of the podium in this category. He's done it before. And we've seen some great raw pace from him this year. He completes with a 3:04. Emma Lindholm now and Reetta Hämäläinen.
Good morning. You certainly have a lot of experience in the WRC2 field here in Spain. How confident are you feeling?
It's okay. The conditions surprise us a bit, and we don't have so much experience from wets, but for the moment it seems to be okay. But it's tricky rally if it's raining, because we don't have grabber crews, so we have to guess what's the conditions in the corners. But yeah, we'll do our best.
It does really seem to be raining quite a bit harder than it was when we came to the coverage earlier on.
Interesting point there from Teemu as well, noting that the WRC2 runners and, of course, everyone else competing in the rally doesn't have the luxury of the safety crew. That means that, I mean, by the time that they arrive to the stage, almost every corner where you can cut will be completely covered and filthy. But it's always nice to have that extra info if you can. They're only afforded that luxury on the Monte Carlo rally, where every competing crew gets a safety crew with obviously the danger of the ice. But yeah, here that's not something they can benefit from. But Emil also seems to be cautious at some points, pushing at others. He, of course, comes here. He's currently second in the championship, but with the drop scores coming into play, it's almost level.
Yeah, it's him and Kajtanovic, Lindholm and Kajtanovic we're looking at for WRC2 honours. I think it'll be a fascinating weekend to see what they can do here, who will finish with the most points ahead. Obviously, he's got a good track record, Lindholm. He was WRC3 winner in 2021 here, knows the event well.
They're both due to go to Japan as well, so hopefully this battle will go all the way to the wire, but Emil certainly looked to be having a laugh with Reetta after the finish line there, so let's hear from him now.
Morning, Emil. I'm sure your thoughts are very much on this championship in WRC2. Tell us a bit about the game plan for the weekend.
Well, yeah, I guess it's to enjoy the Spanish smooth tarmac roads, because yeah, honestly, we're really looking forward to this event in Dueta, and it's one of our favorites of the year, so let's just hope the sun's up tomorrow when we start.
And some words in Finnish, please.
And there we go. That's the stage classification for run one of Shakedown. Sebastian Ogier with the fastest time with a 2:42.4. His teammate Alvin Evans behind. Then Takamoto Katsuta and Kalle Rovanperä. All of those drivers with the soft compound Pirelli tyre. Then we come to Neuville, Sordo, Breen, Tanak and Greensmith with WRC2 runner Teemu Suninen completing the top 10 for us. We are going to head now into the service area here in Spain to catch up with Kiri.
Yeah, thanks so much. Back in the service park now. The rain has eased off, but obviously presented its challenges already with the tyres this morning in Shakedown. Okay, well, just having a look over that, Julian, basically Toyota took the softs, which is why they were fastest through Shakedown.
Yep.
Hyundai took the hards. Now, there is potentially tactics maybe at play with the tyre use here. Now, I was trying to understand this, so explain to me. So if you take a set of 4 softs in Shakedown, you get?
Well, you get those tyres for the, so your allocation is X number.
Yeah.
Plus whatever you use on the first pass of Shakedown.
Okay.
So Hyundai are either got a really bad weather forecasting and they took hards when it was raining.
Yeah.
Or they've taken the hards because they want 4 additional hards in their allocation for the rest of the weekend.
Because obviously if it's hot and we're on tarmac,
you want the hard tyres. So I suspect it's more a strategy thing rather than a really bad weather forecaster, you know, because I've heard there's some pretty high intelligence of weather forecasting within Hyundai. So I would say that more it's a strategy thing. Toyota might feel that they want to go out there, get that confidence, get that feeling, because as I said, Marshall said, Hyundai more than likely now going to have to come back and put another set of tyres on that car to get any real reference, because they're scrobbling around and sliding around all over the place on their hard tyres. So they either struggle around for 3 runs thinking, yep, I've got 4 nice, hot, hard tyres for the rally, or they come back and have a bit of a run around on some softs.
All right, well, it could be interesting to see what strategy is at play. 19 stages to unfold in front of your eyes, starting on Friday morning. Tonight, we've got an opening ceremony. So, as we mentioned, the opening ceremony tonight, it will be all about the fans down in Salou by the beach. We'll just be watching those cars going over the start ramp. Myself, Julian, and Bex Williams will be down there. Now, Friday, it's a big old day. It's 8 stages. It's 4 and 4. Again, the same 4 and 4 on Saturday, and then Sunday, yep, we'll be back to the illustrious power stage. So that will all unfold over the next 4 days in front of your eyes here in Spain. Okay, well, we'll be back with you this evening for that opening ceremony, but until then, we'll see you very shortly. And don't forget, we have all of the action throughout of the weekend for you to enjoy. See you in a bit.